Well, hello friends. I hope you are all doing well and that you're staying warm. I know that even those of you who live down south are having below normal temperatures, and it's quite cold. Now today is Wednesday and it's not nearly as bad as it was Monday or Tuesday, but the bottom is supposed to drop out of it again, and this weekend, I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I know south of us, it's supposed to be pretty bad. Lots of snow, and even further south, ice. I think we are far enough north that this system is going to miss us, but you just never know. But anyway, I thought I'd do something a little bit different in this video. Over the weekend, I just went ahead and finished taking all of my Christmas down upstairs. Now downstairs is a different story. I haven't even started down there yet, and it's an absolute disaster. But anyway, I went ahead and got all of my Christmas put away upstairs, and I just went ahead and decorated everything. I had considered doing some decorate with me videos, but honestly, I just wanted to get it done, and I made quite a few changes which required a lot of brain power, and to video and try to get the right angles and explain what I was doing and also think about what I was doing. It was just going to be too overwhelming. So I decided, instead of doing a decorate with me, I would do a home tour. Now it's just going to be the dining room, kitchen, and living room upstairs. Like I said, the downstairs is an absolute disaster, and I didn't really decorate in my bedroom other than that new comforter set, which you've already seen. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this is basically my everyday decor. It will change up a little bit. I'm thinking Lent starts February 18th. So I'm thinking possibly that weekend of Lent, I will put my Easter decor out and leave it up through Easter. I don't do a whole lot of Easter decor. It's just like 2 small totes is all the Easter decor I have, but I do like to display it at Easter time. So that will change up. And then when Easter's done, I may start putting more of my sunflowers up, which I love to decorate with during the summer. So that may wait though, because Easter's early this year. It's like the second Sunday in April, I think, is Easter. So I may leave my Easter decor up through April and then switch over to summer stuff in May. Who knows? It just kind of depends on when I get tired of it, to be honest. But anyway, for the most part, the decor that I have up now is my everyday decor that will stay this way through October September when I start decorating for fall. So anyway, without further ado, let me turn this camera around and we will start in the dining room. And I will, since this is only encompassing 3 rooms, I'll take my time and we'll kind of talk through my decision making and the things that I changed up. And I'll show you my decor. I'm really pleased with how everything turned out, so I'm excited to share it with you. So this is just an overview of my dining room. I'm standing in the living room looking into the dining room. I'm sorry about the backlit of the patio door. I will try to remember to get some nighttime, or when the sun starts to go down, shots of this area, because it's so much easier to see it when it's not backlit. But let's go ahead and get started on my plant stand here. Basically, I just took all of the Christmas down. The only thing I had in here for Christmas were Christmas picks, flowers and stuff, and then I had this bowl full of Christmas balls, little miniature Christmas balls. So I had some of these extra, these are fake eggs left over from a project I did last year for Easter, which I love it still, so I'll probably bring it out again for this Easter. But these were the eggs that were left over from that, and so they filled this bowl perfectly, and I absolutely love that. I moved this little watering can with the bird up here. I had it down on the lower shelf, but I moved it up here. This lamp is actually Olivia's, but she's letting me use it, and I love how it illuminates this room at night. So that's one of the things I will show you when this evening, when I film this evening. And then down here on this shelf, I moved my bell collection in here, my miniature cowbell collection, and I'll show you why in a minute when I get into the living room. And then I just moved one of my Japanese Occupied Japan little figurines in here, simply because that is a duplicate. I didn't realize I had two of the same, and so I moved her in here. This little basket I used to have hanging on my corner hutch, and I decided I didn't want anything hanging off the doors of the corner hutch right now, so I just moved this little basket in here, filled it with some faux flowers. And then this stand here, which again, when it's not so backlit, you'll be able to see the beauty of this better. But my brother, my oldest brother, Doug, who passed away in 2020, he made this for me, and I was using it for something else. I used it for something else for many, many years. And then I kind of just stuck it in a corner down in the basement and hadn't used it for years. And so I decided I wanted Scott to turn it into a plant stand for me. And I had this little round tray already. I think I got this at Dollar General, and it fit the top of this perfectly. Now, I'm still debating whether I want to try to stain it to match, or if I don't mind the two-tone, the different tones of the wood. I haven't decided yet, but for now I've just left it, and I put my pothos plant on here, and I got this basket off of Amazon, and then the little drainage plate is actually a Pioneer Woman from Walmart. So there's that. And then over here, this is basically the way it was before. The only difference on here is I had this hanging off the knobs of my Hoosier cabinet, and again, I just got so tired of having stuff hanging off of knobs, especially on doors that I actually open. And so I'm like, I am keeping the doorknobs clear, because it's a little thing to have to move this off and open the door, but it was annoying. And I don't want to be annoyed, so I put it over here, and I really like it hanging off of this peg rack. I think it looks really cute there. Then my tablecloth, this is, I cannot remember the name of it. I'll put a link for this. I got it off of Amazon. It's actually a cloth tablecloth, and I put the plastic one over it to protect it. But I had gotten one that was red for Christmas, if you remember, and I loved it so, so much. And Olivia's like, well, you could just leave the red, because red's not necessarily Christmas. But it just reminded me, the red ticking stripe reminds me so much of Christmas that I just couldn't get past it. So I found one in the blue from the same company off of Amazon, and I absolutely love these tablecloths. They are such high quality. They're just wonderful, wonderful tablecloths. And Cackleberry, that's the brand name, Cackleberry. And I remember because Scott was making fun of the name. But anyways, I got a blue one, and then I have been loving this type of pattern. I was calling it toile. It's pronounced, it's spelled T-O-I-L-E. Well, we did a little bit of research, and it's actually a French word, and it's pronounced toile. So I am really in love with the toile pattern right now. That's what my comforter set is. And I found this beautiful toile. It can go from spring into summer. Table runner off of Amazon, and I just love the blue. And it's blue and kind of an off-white, and so is the tablecloth. It's a little bit whiter. The tablecloth is a little bit more on the white side, but it's not pure white. It is an off-white. So I'm just loving how that works, or how that looks. And then for my centerpiece, let's see, every single thing on here was thrifted, except for the beeswax candle. Got that off Amazon. And this, I think I probably got that at either Walmart or Dollar General. I can't remember. But everything else was thrifted. And also this little sweater, Olivia knitted that for my little mouse. And I just think it's so adorable. And I've got this little stack of books. That pocket watch is actually Olivia's, but she's letting me borrow it right now. And then those are those vintage glasses I bought. And then this is the one of my Christmas presents that I got this year. These are little, what you call it? Not coasters, trivets. Trivets for hot pans when we have supper. Then up here on the wall, I've put this picture back. And I'm going to leave that up till fall. I just absolutely love it. This is how I've done my sconces, just with the blue and white. And then I did tuck a few of those yellow miniature tulips in there, which I know it's kind of springy, but I just wanted a pop of yellow. And so I just love that. My shelf here has pretty much stayed the same, although I did put that brass pitcher there in the middle. So yeah, so there's that. And then over here on this chair, I have been enjoying styling this basket. I had the scarecrow in it for the fall, and then I had the Santa in it for Christmas, and then I decided to put my chickens in it for probably spring and summer. So I'm in love with that. My sewing box wall has not changed. It's all pretty much the same. And then my Hoosier cabinet, it has changed quite a bit. I decided I didn't want anything, or not much of anything here, because it just looked too crowded and cluttered. And then this way we can actually use this for things. We can set stuff right on top of this trivet. So yeah, did that. And then the big change is the top. I decided I wanted to put my vintage kitchen tools, utensils, cookie jars, things that actually belong in a kitchen or a dining room up there. And I will show you what I did with my vintage salty and pepper collection. I'll show you that when I get into the living room. But I'm loving that as well. I decided to put my cookie jar up there because I actually never put cookies in it. And so it doesn't matter if it's up high. So then entering the kitchen, I really don't decorate much in my kitchen. My kitchen is very much a working kitchen, and most everything I have on the countertops are things I use. So I don't really have space for decor. I did tuck a little miniature basket in there. Up here, I keep that vase there all the time, and I just change out the florals in it. Over here on top of my microwave, I made this little vignette, and I just am in love with it. Look at those kitties. They are the cutest. They are just so sweet. Those are vintage salt and pepper shakers. And everything on here, I got thrifting except for the florals. It's hard to find good florals when you're thrifting. So I buy those mostly from Walmart. Sometimes I get things off of Amazon. But there's that. And then, of course, here's my little sleeping mice in my gravy boat. That stays there all the time. And then on my windowsill, again, it's backlit. I apologize. I put my collection of hens on a nest. again. I was trying to think of a different place to put them, to change this windowsill up, but I just really like them there. And so, you know, sometimes, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of scenario. And so that's what I did with this. I just left it with my hens on a nest on the windowsill, and then up on this little corner shelf I changed this up. Those three little books that are on my centerpiece on the table, they used to be there and I wanted to use them on the centerpiece, so I just swapped, put a different book there. Everything else on here is exactly the same, and in this chicken planter, it's a little chicken planter, I just changed out the florals in it for the seasons. And on my island, I have basically nothing decor wise. I've got chicken legs cooking in here. I got these shopping this week, and I just throw them in there and cook them up, and this will be 2 suppers plus lots of lunches out of all those chicken legs. And if you're interested, I just threw them in there frozen and they'll cook perfectly. And I flavored them liberally with this salt-free garlic and herb, and then I added some of this garlic salt, and that's all I did, and they are so flavorful and so delicious. So anyway, let's head into the living room.
And if you're interested, this is what the chicken legs looked like when they were done. They get nice and browned up in that roaster pan, and they were absolutely delicious.
All right, here's the overview of my living room, and we'll just start over here with the grandfather clock. It is basically the same. The only thing I changed was I put a different plant up there. Took the Christmas tree down, put the little plant up there. I put this wreath back on the door. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then on my TV stand here, I got another one of those Toile table runners, and this one is kind of more springy, more Eastery, but the bunnies, I mean, I'm going to use this through the summer too. It's just so adorable, and I love the color of it. If I can remember, I will try to link everything I've gotten off of Amazon in the description box below. I may forget some things, but I'll try to remember at least the new things that I've just gotten. I shouldn't forget that. This is just a screensaver free off of YouTube. I'll just put that on just for this video. So super cute. And then this is a huge change. If you remember, this is where I had my little mouse collection. And when I was putting all of my Christmas mice away, I realized my mouse collection has grown so big that I could not make it look good on this shelf. It was just too crowded together. So I realized I have a tiny little pig collection. So I decided to put my little pig collection up here as well as my beagle collection. I don't know for sure if that's a beagle, but it looked close enough. So anyway, I have my little beagle figurines up there, my piggy figurines. This is the little piglet that Olivia knit for me for Christmas, and it's just, he's just so cute, or she. I don't know, is the piglet a boy? I think piglet's a boy. I just had to put him up here with my little pig collection on this chair that I thrifted. And then these are the baby shoes that I have thrifted. And this set here, if you remember, I don't know, you probably don't remember, but they were just flat. They were just flat. I got them for like $1. Well, I stuffed them with tissue paper, and I got them to look really cool, really nice. And I went ahead and stuffed these with tissue paper as well. And I just love how they are, you know, flanking the shelf there. And then I've got my milk glass vases with some spring/summer flowers in it. And so now, instead of this being my mouse shelf, this is my pig shelf. And I'm very picky about the pigs figurines that I buy. They have to be either very unique or very cute, or I don't get them, because, you know, I have enough collections and I can't just be buying stuff for the sake of buying it. So, but if it touches my heart and makes me happy, I have to get it. So anyway, so this is my pig shelf now, and I will get around to where I put my mice here in a minute. Then on top of these baskets, in one of my videos a couple weeks ago, I showed you that I put this, I took this out of my corner hutch and put it here, and this is how I ended up styling it, and I love it. I love how it turned out. Put my little skunk figurines there. And then my corner hutch, I changed it up quite a bit. I mean, yes and no. It still has all my amber glass in it, but this is where I put my Occupy Japan figurines, children figurines. Now, not all of these are Occupy Japan, but most of them are. But this is where I put my little Occupy Japan children collection, and I just really like how this hutch turned out. And this is what I was talking about, where I just don't want to put anything on here. I'm ready for like streamlined and more simplistic. On the top here is where I have my sheep collection, and I changed this up a bit. I took everything off of there, cleaned everything really well, and just kind of changed things around. I've got my light up church up there. Thought that was appropriate to go with the lambs. And so yeah, those are all my little sheep collection up there. Here are my Mr. Salty and Mrs. Pepper salt shaker collection. This yellow box, I had this on top of my Hoosier cabinet, and I had all of these salt and pepper shakers up there. And again, I thought it looked too crowded, and also whenever you would walk past the Hoosier cabinet, you could hear this stuff rattling, and that was really getting on my nerves. So I had Scott put some hangers, picture hangers, on the back of this box, and he hung it for me. And all of my Mr. Salty, Mrs. Pepper salt and pepper shakers fit on here, as well as some of my vintage crystal miniature salt shakers. And I've got 3 oil cans. 2 of them fit on here. The other one I have in a different area. My vintage nail box, a little vintage cast iron, and I just love it. I am in love with how that looks. And it ties in really well because my yellow hutch is in here. This is how I have my Brambley hedge display. It's basically the same as it was before Christmas, or before fall actually. I just kind of put it back to, oops, this candle fell over. There we go. I just kind of put it back to the way it was before. And then this is my yellow hutch, and I've changed it up quite a bit, especially the top. I put my owl collection up here. These are pretty much all of my owls, except for my little miniature owls, which I have those in a separate little miniature shelf. But I'm really loving how that turned out. And then this, I had my chickens on this hutch before fall, and I just decided I really liked them here, so I put them back. I just kind of changed things up a little bit, moved things around, and I mean, you guys wouldn't probably know the difference, but I know the difference, and I'm just loving how that turned out. And believe it or not, decorating this this yellow hutch, it took me probably 3 hours the day that I worked on this, because it just takes time. I enjoyed it. It wasn't work, but it took 3 hours. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just like, I can't film this. My 3-hour project would have turned into 6. So anyway, that's how I have my yellow hutch. And you're getting to see all my collections this way too. I'm one of those people that when I collect something, I like to keep them together as much as possible. I think it makes a bigger impact, and then people know, hey, that's a collection. And I have lots of collections, I have to admit. I have a lot of collections. But I love it. I love it. It's my hobby. You know, everybody needs a hobby, and collecting little miniature figurines, especially if they're vintage, that's my hobby. The only thing I still have that's Christmas is my floor mat. I need to buy a new one, and I'm going to be looking for, I don't even know if they exist, but I'll look on Amazon. You can find everything on Amazon. A toile floor mat. So I'm just going to leave Santa there for now because we do need a floor mat. Travis comes in and out here every day when he gets home from work, and so we do need a floor mat here in front of this door. So anyway, that's my last little touch of Christmas up here. So then on this table back here, this is my behind my sofa table. I shared this with you in a video, and it has not changed. Everything is exactly the same on here, and I'm loving it. These little shelves, they really haven't changed much either. I just took the Christmas touches down and put other things in the place of the Christmas things. Here on my couch, I bought some toile pillow covers to go on my couch pillows, and I'm just loving, look at this. This toile is so cool because it's like vintage scenes, and it's just right up my alley. I just love it so much. On my coffee table, it's very simple for me. For me, this is simple. I just have my dough bowl here that I got for Christmas in 2024. I got these two little Annalise mice from Etsy. I just love them. They're so cute, and I think they look so cute in that dough bowl. And then I just had a couple of these little faux plants. I got those at Dollar General, and I stuck those on either side just to kind of balance it out. And then I got some new coasters. These are like leather coasters, and again, they're kind of in the toile pattern. Except these are not just two-tone. They've got more color to them, as you can see, but this is also considered a toile pattern, and I just really like them, and I think it looks really cute, and we actually do use coasters quite a bit. I don't like water rings on my coffee table. So that's my coffee table. So when Scott put that yellow box that has my Mr. Salty and Mrs. Pepper collection on them over there on that wall, this shelf was what was over there. And so I didn't know what I was going to do with the shelf, and I happened to be looking over here, and I'm like, hey, it fits perfectly on this wall. And so I just put it back the way it was. This is how I had it decorated on the other wall. And the difference is I put this wreath here, and then I hung this little thing with the wreath. It kind of looks like it's part of it, although it's two separate pieces. And it's got the thermostat. The thermostat's being hidden back there, so you don't have that ugly thermostat sticking out. So that's what I did there on that wall. This is my basket wall. It has not changed. It's the same, except my picture's crooked. There, that's better. I have the hardest time keeping my pictures straight on the walls. So then over here above my fireplace, this is where I put my mouse collection. I was able to spread them all out. I was able to get them all in the same area, and I absolutely love it. I have all of my mice, almost all of my mice, all in one section. I can't even believe I had most of these were on that one shelf. It's just crazy. Oh, here's another crooked candle. There we go. I decided to put the male counterpart for her. I put him away because he did look like a pilgrim. And then I put the Santa mouse away with the Santa mice, my box of Santa mice. And then I've just got the rest of my little vintage mice up here. This metal rose. Travis made that for me in school last year in a welding class that he had to take. And here's my Valentine's mice. I might, after Valentine's Day, swap them, put them down here, put my St. Patrick's mice up there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do when it comes time for Christmas because I love my nativities over here and I don't want to not do that. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with my mice collection, but that's a long way off. A long time to think about that. And then on top of the stove, I kept it really simple. I just put my ironstone pitcher collection on here, some vintage silverware I put in side, and then I just put this floral arrangement on top. Over here on this little basket, I did have my fiddle leaf fern, my faux one, on here, and I decided to move it, so I'll show you that in a minute. But I put this amber glass pitcher, and it's got my small, I have a very small collection of candle snuffers, vintage candle snuffers, and as I collect them, I'll just add them to this pitcher. But in the meantime, I put some florals in there with it, and then I have this little mouse thing, and then on top of this box, I have just bits and bobs of things on top of there. And then over here on my telephone stand, this is where I put the fiddle leaf fern. After we took our Christmas tree down, which our Christmas tree was right here, it just seemed so bare, and I missed having, like, even though the tree obviously wasn't real, I missed having plant life in this section. So I moved it over here, and I really like it over here. This little tin, my niece Lydia gave that to me last year, and I love it. I just took one of these candle lamps and put it here. It's my Mexican pottery bird there. And then underneath I put this stool, which the lid lifts up, and I have my chosen videos, DVDs are in there. And I put that faux fern on top of it. And I just really love all that backlit sun. It's terrible. I really just love how that turns out. Again, I will do a little silent walkthrough this evening so that you can see this stuff when it's not backlit, because that's terrible. I like having the sunlight except for when I'm trying to video. And then it's a pain. But anyway, that is how I have decorated my dining room, kitchen, and living room for this season. And I am loving it. right, friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If there's anything you saw that I didn't talk about and you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below, whether you want to know where I got it or just anything, any questions you might have. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye, friends.